everyone, welcome to another episode of A Slice of Culture. It is Women's Man. So we have some beautiful women on the panel who are going to speak on what they've gone through, speak on what they've experienced, just a little bit of some information. So how about you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Sam, art director, creative, living the dream.
I'm Leanne, I also work here. I'm a DTP operator.
I'm Happiness and I am in account management purely for digital.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm an account manager, a daughter, a stepmom, a sister, and a fiance.
I'd just like to know, ladies, what is that one beautiful moment that you can't get out of your mind that makes you feel the beauty of being a woman? You sit here, you're looking in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, I love being a woman. Just moments like that. What is that one moment that you can't stop thinking about to this day?
Just that thing of, if you walk into a room and maybe there's tension or things are weird and you just walk in, you can kind of change the atmosphere. And it's just like people can calm down or people can feel comfortable. It's a superpower. I honestly think it's a superpower, and it's an unspoken thing because no one can point it out necessarily and say that thing. In countless situations, that is really, really a strength.
I agree.
Just to add to that, I think Sam raises a good point because there's a quiet beauty. There's that silent resilience that we as women go through or encounter every day. And a lot of people don't see that, those invisible bags that, a woman carries, that quiet beauty. And there's something to be said about women having to go through that silent resilience, but still manage to show up in the loving, caring, compassionate way. It's the beauty that we talk of goes beyond the linear traditional beauty thing of woman. And I think over the years that narrative has changed more for ourselves personally. Quiet beauty, it's that silent resilience that we talk about, that we look in the mirror and be like, yo, I got a tough day ahead of me. I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with that quiet beauty. It's high-key very seen as very weak. You're seen as you don't see the struggles, which means she's not struggling, which means we can do whatever we want to her. We can make her do whatever she needs to do. In the sense of, I'm not a mom, but I've seen it myself. I see my own mother going through the most at home. But as soon as you walk out, because she used to be the whole family's breadwinner, now it's Daily can never struggle. So she has to help us regardless. So they see this quietness as a sense of weakness. Very, very painful to even think about what women have to go through. Because we don't always have platforms like these when you can just open up. So the fact that we're unable to speak it, it's almost like there's absolutely nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's just being dramatic. Even the moment you bring it up, it's she's starting again. What's this?
Well, just following from what you're saying, just even the way that women are is always prescribed. It's always, oh, you're too loud, or you're too this, or you're too that. So you kind of are trained from a very young age to kind of self-manage or to cope. And then people feel a freedom to tell women, oh, you're being too much, or you're being too little, or you're so aggressive. And I'm like, but they don't feel that same freedom to tell the boys or the guys that, oh no, you're being too loud. Oh no, you never hear that. You're encouraged to be the loudest, the brightest, the fastest as a guy. And as a girl, you're encouraged to be soft and small and to take it. And, and we have just figured out how to turn that into a strength, which just comes back to what you're saying, that we have actually almost reclaimed that thing, that softness and stillness is not a bad thing, and we've actually used it like a superpower.
To that point as well, it's females are from being a child to grown up. We're not given that space to find yourself, whereas with the opposite sex, with males, they can go find themselves, they can be freely, be what you need to be, go wilding out, but with a girl, it's so funny, I think back to growing up, it's oh, you can't be out the house too late, you can't do this, don't date at this, And it's just like, oh, guys can have a girlfriend, and you're just like, but why? Like, you almost put into this confinement that you carry on. And I think something that does make me happy is obviously being around women now that are like, it's okay to find yourself. It's okay to step outside of these boundaries and say, be what you want to be. And I like that it's evolving into that over time, and I'm very like happy for women in that sense, because I have 2 young nieces, and I think I would rather have them have that experience than the experience we had in terms of like the confinement.
Yeah.
It's defining your own beauty.
Yes. So I grew up in a very male-dominant family, 4 brothers, very much just
One girl.
There.
Just there.
nothing I did could be enough. So then what I did to be seen was I worked that much harder. I wanted to be better than a man. Like, that was the only way that I could be seen.
Yes.
And only as an adult female now, and having a daughter as well, is like I've realized, wow, actually women are so powerful. We've got, like, we can do what a man can do, but we've also got this whole other thing that men don't have. And as much as they've tried, I haven't seen a man or met a man who has the empathy and the power and almost that sixth sense. We have this extra power in us, the nurturing, the caring, being able to walk into that room and being able to read the people and see the feelings and know what is going on. So I've taken the opportunity now, also having a son as well, like saying, like, this is the woman power and how to respect a woman. And going to my daughter and saying, this is your power. You have got this power. You can be great like a man. There's no thing. We are all equally as great as each other. So, yeah, I've only ever seen that as an adult woman, but spent my whole childhood struggling. Like, I want to be better than a man. Like, and then realizing as an adult, going, wow, I've got all this power. All this stuff that's unseen.
That is so beautiful. It makes you think about, you know, like, because we're very used to the, but your brother can.
Yes.
No, but why not because you're a girl? And then, you get used to those words that you live with them. Actually very happy to hear the fact that in you growing and in you having your own kids, you realize that you shouldn't raise the way that you've been raised, which is absolutely beautiful. But going on to the point that you made, which is in the same conversation, on softness, right? I feel like a lot of people, men and women, regardless, have the definition that a woman being soft is being weak. I just kind of want to understand in all of you what you think, how you would define softness to yourselves or to others.
To me, softness it's not a good or a bad thing, it's just a thing. Everything has its place and its time, right? Sometimes when you need, let's say, the striking power of a hammer, bringing a soft little fluffy thing to the table is not going to actually help, right? So the power of discerning when to be soft and when to bring soft in itself is also a very big strength. Just I'm going to start with that. But in my, I was lucky. So I grew up with 4 older sisters and I have a half sister. So we're only girls in my family, right? And I just thinking back, we were talking about generationally, my grandparents would kill to be living like I'm living right now. They would be so happy to have the freedoms that we have. I heard someone say once that we are the first generation of women and girls that get to live freely like a man, so to speak, right? Because everything is on a sliding scale. But not that long ago, you can buy a house, you can do anything without the support of a man, a father, a brother. We are the first generation that's getting to make your own money, getting to live in your own space and define your own terms. Somehow, in order to get here, a lot of people, and I'm speaking specifically with career, people have had to lose or shed a lot of softness just to make it, right? Just to be heard or just to be seen. you've had to be a little bit harder. Where when you're young, you're trained to be the softer and to be demure. But then as you get older, you realize I'm not going to get anywhere in this world if I'm only approaching it with softness. In general, for men and for women, softness in a man is seen as a weakness. It's an Achilles heel. Men will go out of their way to hide it. You know, if they're feeling tender or they're upset, they will literally man up, right? We even use phrases like that. Whereas if a woman is in a powerful position or in a strong place and dominating, she's seen as too aggressive and too much. And then the softness is a prerequisite. Like, why is softness required from her but unacceptable to him? When in my head it is everybody gets to bring pieces of themselves that makes them their whole. And sometimes softness is what you should bring. And yes, in the work context, we do tend to have to shed the softness as women that you have spent so much time being taught you must be this way, and then it's like completely counterproductive. Now we have got to a stage where we've worked so hard and we've fought our way to have a chance to have a career, and you know, the whole South African Bogoto vibe, you know, like Bogoto is obviously a boulder, you know, steady solid stone of a woman. Now we're all like in this world where we're so busy fighting, and I'm tired of fighting. I don't want to be a Bogoto. So I would love to be soft now. I'm all about the soft girl era, and people have found a way to weaponize softness against us now. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, you're too strong, you're too this. And I'm like, I want to reclaim the softness. I love to be soft. Don't use it against me, but let it be my choice. Soft does not mean not strong. I just wanted to add that as well,
100%.
because it is implied that soft is weak, but actually soft is strong. It is a strength.
Absolutely, and that's literally what I was going to say, is that softness is a strength, especially of a woman. You know, they talk about a woman's touch. There's something to be said about that, because it's not just talking about the actual physical thing of having women, it's that finesse, it's that approach, it's the EQ. That there's a strength in that. And in my situation, the reason why I see softness as a strength is because softness requires loving a child that's not biologically yours, even when it's not reciprocated, and that's fine, but it's still showing that love, that care, and that compassion. The softness and the strength in that softness is, I went through something difficult last year where I had to end a pregnancy for medical reasons. But it was the softness in knowing that you navigate that grief with grace. But there's strength that comes with that. It's real. It's rooted. You know, it's not just I'm being soft because I'm a woman. It's I'm soft because I've been through those things, and I still have the capacity to still love and give that kind and that joy and that care. Do you know what I mean? So that's the softness I see in a woman, and the softness comes from not necessarily a fight, but a struggle, something that you're battling with. 100% agree with you, Sam. Like, it's an absolute strength, and not many people can do that.
I'll openly say that, like, it's something I'm still learning. I'm still in the journey of learning how to be soft. I think I went through phases in my life where I started off as a very soft person, very people-pleasing, very accommodating. And like Sam says, the world around you starts being like trying to cannibalize you, basically eating your life for being that. And so you literally turn and become a polar opposite. And now it's telling myself, okay, you don't need to be this person. It's a safe space. You can be softer. And I will admit, it's a journey. 100%. It is a journey, because being soft sometimes it may come from like mistrust. It may come from being hurt in a certain way and trying to protect yourself from not being hurt again. So it's obviously trying to teach yourself that, you know, this is a process, it's healing, and with that the softness will come. And certain people are deserving of that softness, and you are deserving to be that person.
So good.
I agree. when does your moment come to be selfish? Because, in your point, women are very loving and caring and are so willing to give. But when is it 100% okay to be completely selfish?
I would say when you start feeling that you're not like yourself, when you feel like you're losing yourself. It's very easy to try and fill everyone else's cup, but if your cup is empty, you are doing more harm than good. And I think it's very difficult. Like, I know I'm the youngest sibling in my family by like quite a big. My older brother and I have 17 years apart. So
Damn, girl.
Yeah. It's a big age gap. My parents, I don't know what they were thinking, but well done to them. I sometimes have to show up in a certain way for a lot of different people because I'm still around. My brothers have moved on, they've got families and all of that, but I'm still at home. And I want to be that daughter that just is doing everything and is available, but at the same time I've got to remember that I have my life to live. As horrible as it may sound, but I've got to build my life as well. My parents and my family are part of me, but I've also got my future for me.
100%.
So I think women, it needs to be told that it's okay. It's okay to serve yourself first and then others. Because if you're not happy, what kind of place are you coming from?
100%.
I already ate with that. That was beautiful. But now you have these families. Let me be honest. You have my family that is very big on the. Oh, you work now? Okay, that means that half of your salary is coming here because it's supposed to support here. But now you can't even sustain yourself with the rest of the half. Like. That black tax.
Family tax.
That family tax. Really has you on a chokehold. So now it's very, I don't want to say it's very difficult to be selfish, but it's very, I can easily get guilted. Like, how how us we are also struggling. Like, I'm also struggling. Like, what's going on? So, like, how do you navigate your way around that?
So I would challenge, right? Because your question is like, when is it okay to be selfish? 100% always.
Yes.
Always. It took a long time to realize, because one, you realize when you grow up, you were taught you must be selfless, you must be forgiving. But even side by side, maybe with the brother is being told to do your own thing.
Yes.
You be your own man. You, like, what are you saying?
Take on the
So,
world.
so how is it that you're encouraged to be completely inward and be the best you can be, great fly, but you, female, you gotta everything you are is for other people. Your existence is for other, no nonsense. Definitely neither of those complete polarizing views is a safe space for either party, by the way, because we have now loneliness epidemics that men are going through because they never learned how to be full, well-rounded people that are within community or with other people or in context other than just I have to be the most, I have to be the strongest, I have to fly the furthest, and in that kind of mindset and thinking there's no room for other people. Whereas with girls and with women, it's like you have to consider the other, you have to consider everybody else and how they're feeling. Your money is our money. What nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So I'm only speaking like the voices that I've been hearing and in my head, and just realizing that I've also had to unlearn a lot of that behavior. You do not owe anyone anything. You're not, people are not entitled to your smile.
Yes.
People are not entitled to your time, your energy, and your effort.
Yes.
You can choose who you share and how much you share with whom. You can choose with your family to give all of yourself to the point of depletion. But guess what? You're going to be depleted. So it's not wise. You can do it, but it's unwise to empty yourself completely on behalf of other people because society said you should. No nonsense. So for me, there's a lot of backpedaling that has to happen. I don't know when I reached a stage in my life where I started hearing the voices that I'm now speaking over my head. It started with other people's voices. It became my voice. And I'm like, wait, is that even what I want? Like, pause. Is this me talking, or is this me trying to appease or please? We were talking about people pleasing earlier. That selfishness is not a bad thing. Again, when it applies to women, it's like, oh, how could you be so selfish? How dare you want to go to school when your brother needs, like, excuse you? What are you saying? Are we not equally your children? I'm just talking to the parents of the universe.
It's even the word selfish.
That's what I was going to say as well.
It's even the word selfish, because it's like anything in life. You know that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Now, it's like anything in life. Before you get to any sort of growth in your life, you've got to learn how to love yourself first.
100%.
Learn how to appreciate yourself. Yourself is so nuanced. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to learn that first before you can give to anyone else. So it's not just like the selfish thing is. It's not being selfish. It's just I'm taking care of me.
Absolutely, that in itself is taking care of you.
You know,
I think that's what we need to redefine.
Yes.
That word. It's not selfish.
Yes.
And there's a very good saying that I hear is every yes you say to somebody is you saying a no to yourself. So when you say yes to your parents and giving them your money, you're saying no to yourself. But you've worked for that. You've worked for your money. You are where you are today because of what you've done. Yes, your parents helped you along to get there, but that was their job as a parent. Like, as a parent, you're there to guide your child, help them through that, and then set them free in the world and not expect anything back from them. You want to see them flourish.
I think also to your point with the guilt thing, and I get that very, because like, as females, guilt is like one of the biggest emotions we can feel. Like, we carry it with us all the time. And when it comes to that situation of now feeling like you have to give a certain amount of money or show up in a certain way at home, I think understanding that I'm trying to think how to say it. You saying no should be okay, especially if you are my family and you love me. You need to understand that me saying no is not because I don't want to and that I don't love you. There's more to this than just this no. And that's what I feel like people around us need to come to that realization that we are now looking at serving ourselves as well, and it doesn't mean that we're closing off to them. It just means that it's just going to be a little bit less towards you. That's it, and it should be okay.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, but I feel like it's still such a...
It will take time. It will take time. It takes time.
Yes,
it's a generational thing. It will take time.
I think it's also on the fact that I'm with women that are older than me, so obviously you have a lot of experience. You've had some time to be like, no, wait, I'm choosing myself. I feel like in my 22 years of life, I haven't realized yet that no, maybe it's okay to choose me sometimes. You know, you're very quick to listen to the no, but you know you're being selfish. You know, just help out. You know, you're very quick at such a vulnerable age, because that's what I was told. My age is very vulnerable. You know, so now you're very quick to listen to these things and be like, you know what, let me push my thoughts away and just do what needs to be done. So I feel like it's so scary, but I'm 100% willing to learn. But on that, because obviously these are things that you grow up with, and as bad as they sound, maybe let's try to make it a little bit positive by finding out what values you took from girlhood and are currently using your womanhood, because we've had a lot of girl trips, a lot of this, a lot of that. But what great value do you feel like you took from that time, even during the girl tripping, even during the sad times, the crying times? Like, what did you take that you're like, yeah, no, today, that was my thing, 100%. Like, I took the fact that in as much as I'm a people pleaser, I can give regardless. But even though it sounds bad, I feel like it's still something that I hold very dearly to me because of my own mother. You know, she's a giver regardless of how down she is. And even though she hasn't received anything back, it's a beautiful value and trait that I use to this day. Yeah.
I think forgiveness is important. It's a value that I don't think we talk about enough.
100%.
And women are extremely forgiving. And to be forgiving doesn't necessarily mean you've had to have done something wrong, but it's just the thing of understanding, empathizing. I think that's a value that growing up I've had to learn. I think forgiveness and empathy are some of the values that personally for me, and I'm using it now in my space being a stepmom, because I'm just like, it doesn't prepare you for something. Like
you don't grow up being prepared like you're gonna be a stepmom.
No, because it's also not traditional. It's not a traditional way of being. You always thought of yourself as a mother of your own.
Yes, 100%.
So the forgiveness and the empathy comes with that as well. So I think that was really important, those kinds of values.
I always say with forgiving, and my dad and I go back and forth on this because he's big on forgiveness, and like he always pushes the forgiveness thing, and I like admire him for that. But I always say my personality type is I can forgive for myself, but I won't necessarily forget to protect myself also.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes with forgiveness comes taking for granted and taking advantage. So so literally being able to forgive and not forgetting necessarily doesn't mean holding a grudge, but it just means I've taken note of this. I now am aware of this, and I now know how to navigate a situation. So I think forgiveness is definitely a superpower.
Just coming back to your question about the takeaway or the values, I mentioned again that I grew up with five sisters. A lot of people, when they hear that, they're like, oh my gosh, so many women. They're like, what a crazy place that must have been. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's the best thing that has ever happened to me. And we constantly say that with my siblings. We are probably close, and I didn't realize that how close we are is rare for a lot of people. I was like, okay, this is weird. So for me, that word is community. That sense of community. They've actually done this thing where I didn't realize, like, when I go into a group and I meet new people, I feel nothing. I feel not nothing in a negative way, as in I don't feel the pressure to, I have to be this way, or what if they like me or don't like me, because of my sisters, because I feel like there's so much skin in the game sometimes, especially when you're maybe a shy person or you feel a little intimidated. I realized that I don't have that 100% because of my sisters. Because whether you like me or don't like me, I have 5 people at home that think I'm the bee's knees. And I didn't realize I was doing this, and maybe it's also a thing of having been the youngest before my half-sister was born. Having grown up as the youngest and maybe, getting away with all the things that people say the youngest born gets to do, I realized that I just adopted this viewpoint in life that you've got no reason not to like me, and if you don't like me, that's on you. Shame, because there are 100 people behind me who think that like the sun shines out of my butt, which I'm starting to believe maybe it does too. No, I'm kidding. But just honestly, that sense of instant community whenever, like, you won't always have everything going well in your life, right? And sometimes when you're up, I'm down, or vice versa, and just a quick phone call each other, that and I think between women, that is again one of these like hidden gems that really we thrive and we just blossom under. And I've had that my entire life as a covering. So if you do not have some form of another female or another woman or another soft nurturing personality in your life, and I'm specifically saying not just women, it is those feminine qualities that they just let you be yourself. They give you the freedom to unravel if you need to, or to unlock yourself. So I think it's such a massive, massive strength.
This is going to sound weird, but like I was always told as a child I was full of shit. But I've realized that I just had boundaries. And I was never allowed to have those boundaries.
what are you saying?
How dare you? How dare you?
And now I'm like, hey, I'm allowed to have those boundaries. They're just boundaries, and that's what I was trying to enforce as a child and as a young adult. And now I'm like, I love those. And that is something to really value, like, is to have boundaries and to keep putting them in place, and it's okay. And I don't have to feel guilty when I want that boundary in place, and I don't have to feel shame, and I don't have to feel anything. I'm just like, that's what I want, that's what I need, and that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
That was so beautiful, because when it comes to women, it's very difficult for people to be like, you're allowed to have boundaries. Even when you have arguments with your own friends and you're like, Chomi, I don't think that we should be friends. And they'll be like, no, but now you're being dramatic. Why are you putting up the boundaries? And you're like, wait, can I not have my own boundaries? Like, it's so nice to be in the moment of being like, yeah, I'm allowed to be here.
And
I'm
that's
allowed
okay.
to cross that line. I'm allowed to look you, be like, hey, Bena, pause, back up. You know, it's so nice to think that there's moments like that, you know. But on the topic of, because the both of you have mentioned it, on, you know, partnerships and being in marriages and whatnot. I'm not there, sorry guys. I'm one of the 50%. Anyways,
That's a big.
That is a big number.
That's a big number.
conversation of partnerships, obviously that is one of the biggest goals that people put in women's heads. You know, it's like, no, in order to be a successful woman, you have to have a husband.
Yes.
You have to have a family. You have to be submissive and under the ground for that man. You know, I feel like that is such a painful conversation, because then it's like, oh, so I can't grow as a woman on my own. I have to find a partner. But aside from that argument, we can always come back to that part. As moving away from, you know, love, desire, like you've already figured that out on your own. You know, like you figured it out with this person. What does a perfect partnership look to you?
For me, it's about a person being able to hold all of me.
Oh,
Oh,
So it's
somebody put that on a bumper sticker.
With both hands.
you know, all of it.
All of it.
But it's also about when they know how hard it is to love, and they see that, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's they see, you know, sort of the silent battles that you're going through, but there's no judgment, there's no expectation. It's real, it's rooted, there's no pretenses. And look, no relationship is perfect though, and that's what makes it even better.
Yeah.
Let's not even go with the mutual respect, because that for me is the premise of any
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
So like that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's not make it a thing.
Yeah.
It's that person being able to hold all of me, to take me as I am, and I don't have to watch my P's and Q's and you know, I need to be able to walk in to my home or wherever and be like, you know what, today, Lavashan, I can't give you 100%, I can only give you 10%. And he's going to be okay to pick up that 90%.
Yeah.
And there's no like, oh, why? You know, I had a busy day today.
Yeah.
It's just, no questions asked, okay, cool. That's fine. You relax, take a seat. And vice versa, it works both ways.
Yeah.
I think relationships for me, before my current one, I didn't have a very serious relationship ever. It was always just figuring it out, as I like to say. Figuring it out. I was the girl that was scared of commitment. I ran for the hills. The minute
I know, with my full chest.
I know, yeah. Like, I say it fully. Like, I had trust issues. I was all about protecting myself and my sanity. And the minute I was bored, I was like, right, see you guys, I'm out of here.
Nice.
It was nice knowing you. Yeah. Like, I was the girl that would drive herself to a date. Like, the guy would be like, oh, I'm going to pick you. I'll be like, nah, it's fine, I'll drop myself.
I'm good.
I'm good. Crazy, because you get told that you need to be, well, I've got told this once, and I'll never forget this moment. I was sitting at a table with 3 of my guy friends, and they said to me, you need to be more of a damsel in distress. And I was just like, that's never going to happen.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. It's never going to happen. Because obviously guys want to be like, oh, we want to show up for you and we want to, you know, be this way. But why do I have to change who I am for that? Why can't you just accept me for that? And it goes back to Lisa's point. all of me. This is who I am. I have that aspect of independence. But it doesn't mean that I'm not here in this relationship and I'm not going to show up in this relationship. But I think having that space in a relationship to be who you are is important, and having an understanding. I always say it's a push and pull. There's trial period. There's times where you're gonna be like, I hate your guts, and there's gonna be times where you're like, I can't live without you. Like those, it's okay to have those moments. And I think now like growing up, I remember relationships were like always perceived has to be perfect and flowers, and it has to be like, oh, if he doesn't speak words of affirmations to you, your relationship is nothing. Like I literally don't even I hate the word babe. I refuse to call my partner babe. Cannot. I literally am like, every Tom, Dick and Harry says babe. Like what are we doing here? So we literally we have like nicknames for each other that are like the most ridiculous nicknames, and people laugh because I don't like the generic like words of affection.
So you're not the corny type.
I've never been that type. And like I had to learn to be that like romantic and loving a person in a relationship. And I think a partner allowing you to find that side of you is also very important, because not every girl is going to step into a relationship feeling all flowery and feminine, and no, it's the relationship that will bring that out in you. It's the person that will bring it out in you. And I think relationships need to be accepted for that, and it's be okay to be that.
In other words, guys, if you're gonna come and date me, accept me for who I am.
There you go.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
So there's an interesting kind of shift with growing up, especially in the black community. For the first chunk of your life, no boys, no this, you must focus on school, you must focus. And I know a lot of people say that, and I'm like, thankfully I don't listen because I'm hard-headed. I don't listen to anybody. But I'm so grateful. I was lucky to have the space to do whatever I want, obviously within reason. So I never, like, if someone was like, don't do this, don't do that, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm going to do whatever I want anyway. But for the most part, I remember, so my parents divorced while I was quite young, and my dad remarried, and we had a like morning hot chocolate once with my stepmother, just perspective from the other side of that relationship. And she was just like, we've done you kids a disservice. Like, we were older now, but she was like, we've done you guys such a disservice, because your whole life growing up we tell you, don't do this, focus on your school, focus on your career, focus on your education. And then immediately after that, we're like, okay, now get married, and where's the guy, where's the child? And this was a thing I think might be more culturally like brown versus not brown people, where she was looking across the fence and going, young people, especially white people, they pair up young because it's encouraged, or it's open, and it's not like a hidden, sheltered thing. So people are able to, like, if you like, oh, there's this guy that I like, or you can actually tell your mom about it or talk to whoever. A lot of people don't have that privilege necessarily. So we have this weird thing of like having to navigate, okay, who am I? What do I want? And I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for someone who can cover me. And that's a lot when it's like, actually just calm down. First of all, you're very lucky if you have a parent telling you. Like, my parents were best friends. And my dad passed away last year, and my mom was front and center, and they'd been divorced for like as long as they were married, and when we asked her after the fact, we were like, sure, you went out of your way to be there at the funeral and to step into a place where you had to step back because he had another wife, and essentially she said, he was my best friend, and he was my first love, and I will always love that man. And what is a nice thing, I'm really sorry. Flip, I didn't want to be that guy.
Never apologize for tears. Never apologize for tears.
Anyway, so she said, when your father left me, I didn't leave him because obviously life happens and you realize, thank you, as you get older, that, the things that you're like, oh, but that should have been such a sure thing, or how could he do that? Life happens, and they were in a situation where obviously my dad obviously stepped out on her, and he asked her if she would do, you know, the second wife thing, and she was like, absolutely not, I am not that guy, you know. And so they chose to divorce. Now obviously from our perspective, we're just like, okay, well, guess, you know, things are different, and having to navigate, okay, now there's a new person. My grandmother was like, this is your mother now, you have to refer to her as your mother. And we were like, but she's not my mother, A.
Yeah.
B, my mother's still alive and well.
Yeah.
But anyway, having to navigate all of that, from my grandmother's perspective, it's like, it's a done deal, this is culture, whatever. But from reality, it's like, okay, what is going on? I'm lost. Who is what to me? And figuring that out. But thankfully, she was a kind human of a woman who was like, this is not easy for everybody. This is how we are. This is what we want from you. You know, we want you guys to be whole, happy individuals. Oh, thank you. So sweet. But yeah, so it is one of those things where I learned that it's okay to set your own terms for who you want in a partner, what you want from a partner, and to not be looking at people through the lens of my trauma, right? Because now I'm hyper independent because my mother relied on her friend, her husband, and then he let her down, you know? And so there's parts of me that's like, okay, well, I've got to be independent. But then I kind of, maybe it's an age thing. You kind of slow down and you go, it's okay to not be independent all the time. It's okay to not have all the answers. But because of that, one of the things I look for in a partner is a supporting person and someone who, sometimes you'll have my back, sometimes I'll have your back. But I know one thing that I've always wanted is a friendship that can grow with understanding and space, essentially.
Grow together.
Yeah.
I wish I had the beautiful mindsets you guys have because you know, I think in my parents' divorce, mind you, I only found out about the divorce when I was 11. They divorced when I was 3.
Oh.
So they just lived together for the sake of raising this little
Sure.
girl
Oh,
because
wow.
I'm the only kid they had together. I feel like it changed my perspective on how I should perceive love. Obviously, I love looking at people be in love, and I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, look, they're about to kiss. You know, I love moments like that. I love seeing love, you know, but I'm so scared for love to come
See
onto
you.
me. You know, it's like obviously after the divorce, my dad had a girlfriend. Oh, what a beautiful woman. I would admit with chest. She's a wonderful woman physically and internally. That's my stepmom. I love her to bits, and she knows that with chest. She just had my little brother now. I'm no longer the last born.
Had a long reign.
Yeah, the rain is
22 years. But their love, obviously, I ran on my mom and my dad's love, and then I was like, you know what? Clearly, I mustn't be in love. And then I see my sister. She marries my brother-in-law, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so it can happen for me too. And then I see my dad and my stepmom, I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe it can happen. But then I still have that thing because of my mom where it's like, just independent, you know. You can only do things for yourself. No man can really come and help you out. That's why I feel like I easily attract a domineering man who feels that he should come and take control and I must just sit and watch. You know, so now it's so easy for me to be in such toxic relationships because I don't realize like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't. Hey, maybe I shouldn't be here. You know, but by the time I realize I'm already deep within. You know, so now it's like very difficult for me to find a sense of stability to be like, okay, this is what a partnership should look like. Like I have the idea, you know, from everyone who speaks about their relationships. I have the idea, but as for implementing them or thinking how to work with them.
Again, me growing up in the male dominant family and my poor mom having to do everything. Like my dad would phone if we had gone shopping or something and he'd be like, I'm hungry. When are you coming home? Like, what are you making for lunch?
Hands have broken.
And I was like, I am never having that in my relationship. So I was fully labelled because my mom was like, you're never going to find a husband. You're so full of nonsense. And so in the beginning of relationships, I wanted to be in charge and in control, and I wanted the power. Like, I didn't want to be this little woman going, here's your dinner, how can I do this for you? I was like, nope. You're going to cook the dinner, you're going to do half the kids, you're going to do everything half. Like, there's no in between here. But so I, like, in the beginning I was like, yeah, half.
Let's go 50-50.
But now I've also realized that we each have our own power, and we each have our own, like, greatness in doing. One has, like, I'm great at doing some things, and my husband is great at doing some things. So now I'm like, oh, okay, like, you do what you're great at, and he does what he's great at. But that's where it comes, and you have to work together. Like, it's not all about. And as a woman, I still struggle with doing too much. Every woman is going to struggle with that. But yeah, it's still, and I still battle today, like, saying you need to, like, pull your weight in this area. And I'm still learning the boundaries and all the stuff that I need, like saying, hey, do this. You need to grow more emotionally so we can talk more. Instead of just, like, stonewalling like a man and like being super strong and not allowing to cry. And it's okay, we're together. You're allowed to be soft and all those things around me. But yeah, I feel for me it's so important that you have your strengths and you work together as a family to do those things, and you're not just stuck as a woman in a submissive role and then lumped with doing everything, and the man just comes home and
Where's the dinner?
Where's the dinner? And you're rushing around looking after the kids and bathing them, making all the plans. No, that's a no for me.
100%.
But as a mom, you still fill a lot of those roles because you just have that sensitive, more caring, and you just know your kids on a different level.
Intuitive, yeah.
I don't know if men will. I think that's a what do you call it? That's a
feminine,
nurturing thing. So that's what I'm saying. The men have strength in some ways. Like, my husband will have strength in doing different things, and I'll fulfill those roles. And I think that's important in a relationship. Yeah.
I think it's also important to choose for yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need? What do I want? The partnership, the support versus the I'm just here to be a third child. But more, also not choosing what other people tell you. Oh, your husband must be like this, or he must be this. Yes. He must be rich, he must be... You're the one who's going to have to live with him.
Yes.
Remember that. But this is with any partner in your life. I just wanted to add, relationships come in many forms. You come as a sibling, a daughter, a child, or a mother, a parent. Friends are also good relationships, as well as who it is that you choose to partner in life with. And all of those places, it's safe for you to bring yourself in the fullness of yourself, not be like, okay, they need a demure woman when you're the opposite of demure. The whole thing it's flawed in my head, right? So choose for yourself what you want to build and work with and grow with, and then choose someone who you can see improving you as well as a person, and you improving them. Maybe enriching is a better word. So yeah, sometimes you've got to dial down the voices of everybody else. We're very open to taking advice, and how do I do this? We take it to our friends, we take it to our family. Sometimes you just got to dial down the other voices and be like, am I even in a space where I want someone else in my life? Yes, no, okay. Am I ready to? And also, some of us are completely half-baked, wild, crazy, empty vessels that are like, I want to be in a relationship. That's nice. You are cooked. Okay? I probably should do some introspective healing first before I'm like ready to dive into, I love because I watched a Korean drama or something, but I'm just saying.
That's what I thought.
Sometimes we gotta live life with a dose of reality and be like, actually, I'm not in a position where I can fully give or be open with someone, right? And it doesn't help that, yes, there's trash in the streets sometimes, but I'm just saying, like, that pressure that we put on ourselves as women in life in general, we are worse when it comes to relationships. And so you find yourself putting up with toxic red flag people because you're like, I just I've got to stay in a relationship. Absolute nonsense. Give yourself a break. give yourself grace.
And I also think sometimes a relationship can serve you in the beginning. And it can fulfill those needs that you had at that time. You evolve and you change. And then suddenly you realize that this relationship is no longer serving me as a person. And now I possibly do need to move on. It's sad. A lot of us think we programmed to think that this is for life. It's forever. But sometimes you go, whoa, actually, like, I'm here now, but this person is still staying here. I've grown as a person. Like, maybe I need to relook, which is very hard sometimes. And you can
and
just
it's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to grow.
Yeah.
And like what works for you today may not work for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like today your taste buds are different to what they're gonna be tomorrow. You don't know, and it's okay. I think that comes from like older mentality in females, where it's like you stick it out no matter what.
Yes.
And I think it's a disservice to a lot of families overall, because you're not just harming yourself and that person in the relationship, you're harming the people around you. And being able to say, you know what, this is not working, it's okay, and you walk away like knowing that is a big thing, and it's a level of maturity that's needed sometimes.
It's okay to also not be in a relationship.
Yep.
I feel like the pressure to always be paid up and coupled up, it's insane. And then I've had a lot of friends who just jump from one thing to another because they just feel so unsettled in the in-between spaces. And I'm like, oof, I really, really wish space for you to love yourself enough to spend more than 2 seconds by yourself and be okay.
Get to know who you are.
Exactly.
What you need, what you want out of life.
But I feel like it's so difficult. Not saying when I jump from relationship to relationship. Please don't think that. You know, I feel like it's so difficult sometimes. You know, you give love, things are nice, and then you get cheated on. Sharp, we move on. We're like, no, you know, I'm going to do self-love. And then you have these people around you that are like, no, Chomi, just jump into another one. You'll be fine. This, that. So now it's also the people that you surround yourself with that don't allow you to take your time. You know, like, be like, no, maybe I should just sit down for the next 3 years and think my life through. Like, now they're there and they're like, Chomi, for all we know, your next one could be your husband. And you're like, right.
Girls have a tendency of doing that to each other, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't go out. If you're all a group of single girls, you're like, maybe you'll meet that one.
Yeah.
It's like this thing, it's like, oh, it's okay if I don't have other one. Or it's okay if I do have other one. And it's okay also if I'm still figuring things out.
I learned very recently, like last year, like my relationship it's not from like a normal relationship, because like we long distancing, like he's in another country, I'm here, and I think I had to learn that what I'm okay with, not everybody else may be okay with, and not allowing people to say, oh, but he's in another country and he's not calling you 5 times a day, how dare he, like what's wrong with that?
He's out there.
He's out in the street. But I know what my relationship is. I know that I trust him. I know how we conversate with each other, what our routine is. And just being confident in that and not letting outside voices tell you how your relationship should be is very important. Because that could be detrimental to that relationship.
Let me speak on myself, of course. I'm a very... If I meet these people, these are my friends for life. Like, losing a friend kills me. Like, I can tell, because even in the relationship that I was cheated on, it was with my own friend.
Oh, damn.
So it was like, I couldn't let her go. It was like, no, I know she hurt me, but I can't let her go. You know, like, how do you navigate yourself, how to realize that it's okay to drop them? You know, like, you don't have to force yourself to stay there just because you're so scared of losing them.
I'm the kind of person that if I make a friend, it's like a friend for life.
Yes.
And I think a lot of females are like that.
Yes.
But you've got to ask yourself, is this what I want out of a friendship? Is this person the kind of friend I want? Are they showing up for me like how I'm
showing
showing up for them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times friendships can be one-sided.
Yes.
And a lot of the times you can get taken advantage of because you are pouring into their cup, but they're not necessarily pouring into your cup. And a friendship is a bond that is selected. We don't just go around calling everybody our friend. You select people because they bring certain things into your life. You take things into their life. It's a mutual exchange. And you've got to ask yourself sometimes, is this what I want in my life? Is this serving me? If it's not, it's okay for us to part ways. It did at one point, and now it's no longer.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm growing, I'm developing.
It's really about being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And like Sam pointed out earlier, there's different types of relationships. It's the relationships with your friends, your family, your colleagues, whatever the case is. But it's about being honest with yourself, honest enough to acknowledge what's working for you and what isn't. And this even goes back to the conversation about being selfish, which is not selfish, but it's being aware that you're like, this is not for me. This is not doing me any good. It's not bringing me peace. It's got me overthinking, stressing. Am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Holding back. You're always, if you're constantly mindful of how the next person is feeling more than yourself, then something is wrong.
If you're policing yourself a lot as well. But just coming back to that, maybe it's a thing that happens naturally as you age, and as they say, and I used to watch these things where Oprah's like, 40 is the new 30 and 50. She's saying, what is this magic or whatever? But I feel like now in my ripe old age of insert number here, I'm not shy about my age, but but just I feel like I think differently, and I am a different person to who I was when I was 10 years ago and 20 years ago. So you are a lot harder on yourself, I think, when you're younger, on keeping your friendships. And we knew each other since we were 3, and this is strong. But I've realized it's okay to, It's not culling necessarily, but to kind of do an audit, audit your life, audit your friends. Once in a while, doesn't have to be an everyday, like, militant thing, but just be like, are these people actually still in my life? Are we doing anything? Like, I have recently left a WhatsApp group where I was like, this group actually has nothing to do with me. I'm kind of like riding along, and it's actually like, it hurts me every time I hear a notification, and I'm like, I feel like if someone goes, hey, we're having a braai, I actually don't feel like I'm invited, but it was like, it was a group that kind of happened or whatever. But my point is, it took me a while to go, I'm not actually in this friendship group. I have 3 friends in this group, but this is not my friendship group. And it's okay for me to leave this group with 0, like the fact that we even think about that. Why are you analyzing so hard? Leave the group if you need to leave the group. But it is just a case of sometimes, maybe for a while, that, that thing needed to happen, or that friendship, it's seen its course, and it's okay to move on and to grow apart. And that happens naturally, and not to feel too much pressure about, I've got to make this work and got to make this. Sometimes, especially with female friendships, sometimes it's toxic, I'd never thought this would ever happen, because you just assume people like you and friends like you will see the world like you, and you wouldn't do that to someone, so don't expect them to do that to you. But it happens.
Especially when we agree that we share the same values.
100%. You grow and you learn, and you realize that maybe that person doesn't have my best interest. Sometimes people want to be around you because they kind of want to siphon from you. They want your energy, or they want your whatever. So you just gotta, again, see for yourself. Does this grow me, or does it, lessen me in some way?
No, I feel like it's such a hard pill to swallow, because you're like, you right, Marayo. Like, wait, let me breathe. Okay.
But it is easier said than done.
I was just about to say that.
I'm so scared to
I
do it.
Yeah.
I think hearing from us, and this I will say to you, is because I grew up with a lot of older people around me, so I had to grow up very quickly. One of the mistakes you make is trying to be where they are. What you're not understanding is getting there is a journey.
Yes.
And it's a day-to-day journey. And you need to be patient with yourself. Take all of this in. Keep it in your mind. Be mindful of it. But give yourself that time and patience to get there.
Yeah.
When you are ready, when you have processed it and digested it, then to make those. Don't now go, okay, go on my WhatsApp. Who am I getting rid of? You've got to have a lot of introspective as well before you go out there. Otherwise, you're just gonna be literally like shotgun. You just be like, ba 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 ba, getting rid of that.
Everybody else are cleaning us.
No realization.
Yeah, it's very.
Because only when I turned 30, which is
I don't stop that.
Just the other day.
but like a switch flipped.
Yes.
Where it was like, oh, I'm done with people. You know, I was holding on to friendships because I didn't want to be seen as the dramatic girl. Or like that bitch. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that girl. Oh, she's such a troublemaker. She caused this rift in our group and now everyone's unhappy. Like, you wanna... That was my thing and why I didn't feel like I could say how I really felt in the situation. Like, sorry, I actually felt like you really mean and I didn't like what you said. Instead, I'd go home to my sisters.
And vent.
100%.
But best believe I'm going out that weekend with that same group of girls because it was just, I didn't want to lose.
Maintaining.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose that. I didn't want to be seen as the outcast. So...
It's so weird because I feel like that is a magic switch.
It is.
It's so crazy. I feel like it's a magic switch. Like you
gotta
wake
just
up
wait.
and your mind just goes.
Yeah.
You're just like,
It
whoo.
really does.
And then the next 10 years as well, you're also like, oh,
Yeah, you're like,
It gets better.
So that's the thing. I think the level of
just level up.
it
you just keep leveling up.
You guys are making me nervous. Wait.
Society will tell you that an older and a growing and an aging woman is a bad thing, but it is not.
so good.
It is the
It's
magic.
so much fun.
It is the glory, and it gets
Yeah.
better with time. And Oprah was right. Who knew? Who knew? Oprah was right.
There's an emancipation that comes
So, yeah.
from it.
Sierra was right. Level up.
So yeah.
And you literally, it's so weird because you end up finding joy in like things you never found joy in before. Like you wake up and you're like, I actually feel good today, and you're like, I'm just gonna stay here and enjoy it. Like it's amazing. Getting older is fun.
But on that topic, I feel like this would also be great advice for any viewers that would be watching. So what is that one thing that you would love to have told your younger self?
That you are enough.
Beauty standards are a lie.
You are, yeah.
Beauty standards are a lie, and you are the way you are for a reason.
Yes.
You are unique. You are. If it was that way, we'd all look the same.
Yeah.
Facts. 100%. I feel like what I would... I'm still young, but what I would have told my 18-year-old self is that you're allowed to hold back, you know. You shouldn't force yourself to be so on people and forcing friendships in the way that I'm talking. You know, like it's okay to always hold back. There's nothing wrong with it. And don't let them guilt tripping you actually affect you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you're allowed to be yourself and be happy with that. And be proud of it, of who you are, the uniqueness that you're bringing to the world. Everybody's different. Yeah.
My thing is, it's okay to not do the right thing all the time. And that sounds weird, but I realize that I've always naturally been so hard on myself. Nobody else was like, oh, you have to do this, or maybe it's like a parental voice of growing up. But I've always been on the straight and narrow, always been the goody two-shoes, always been like, I don't know, I think I've just naturally curated myself that way. And then I reached a stage in my life where I physically gave myself permission to, if I go out and I decide I'm doing this today, it's okay. You know, it's almost like I've been so cautious to, you know, hem myself in all the time that I found I was subconsciously doing that in everything in my life. And And sometimes it's okay to not be straying off the road, but sometimes I'm like, you're policing yourself unnecessarily. Calm the hell down. So that for me was the thing, to just be like, give myself permission to be messy sometimes, or give myself permission to, if this is where you land up, that's where you land up, and that's okay, and who cares who thinks what and whatever. Do it if you want to do it. And it gave me that, like, do I even want to do the thing or not? You know, like, sometimes you make choices because other people tell you that it was a bad idea, versus I now think that's a bad idea and I don't want to do that. And if I don't open the door for myself to choose those experiences based on, do I even want to do the thing? That was my biggest lesson. I'll go back and tell little Sam with the big cheeks, it's okay to not be the whatever, to let it break sometimes, or let it be messy if it needs to be messy. Like that perfectionism scale needs to dial down a whole ton. Yeah,
that was absolutely beautiful. I wanted to say thank you, ladies, so much for everything that you said today. I feel like I've definitely come out here, I can walk out of this building and say I learned something today about the type of woman I am and the type of woman I can be. And I'm so thankful for that, because there's nothing much greater than womanhood and sisterhood and being able to sit here and discuss these serious things, because they don't always have to be so serious. It's always nice to open up and communicate with whoever you need to communicate. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. And don't forget, go give a shout out to the women in your lives. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next episode. Love you loads.